Hello, how are you doing?
I'm really great, thank you. How are you?
I am very, very well, thank you. I'm
Good,
excited for
good.
today.
Yeah, another bank holiday Monday. And
Yes,
yes, another
yes.
one.
Yeah.
We have one more coming at the end of this month, but it's okay.
We're
It's
like,
all good.
oh, work day.
Good. Yeah, I know. Don't you steal our work days, but we'll still make it work, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, and I'm really excited to talk today because we are going to be talking about the whole idea around wanting more.
Oh,
So much to unpick on this. What is more? It's okay to want more. Can we have more? What does more mean? So much. And where we really wanted to start is just having a think if you've ever thought or asked yourself, is this it? From the
I know.
deepest places of gratitude, but like,
Is this it for
is this
me?
it? Is this it for me? And I know we have both asked ourselves this question. And I know all the feelings from personal experience here of what that brought up
Hmm.
and what I sat in around that. And I know you too, Charlotte, have experienced that. Is this it for me?
Yeah.
So that is where I would like to begin by
So,
asking you to share that with us when you first sort of asked yourself that question. And then what happened from that?
yes. So this is going back to, I feel like I just emerged from the motherhood fog.
Do
You
we
know
do
that?
that? Do we ever
Yeah.
emerge? I'm joking.
From that, lack of sleep, like all
Yeah.
of all of the things, I felt we just got into our groove and all was good. And I felt like I emerged and I was just like, is this it?
Mm.
Is this it for me? Like I'd lost what I enjoyed. Like I loved, and I am so grateful I got to spend that time with my girls. But after a few years, I was so lost. Like I feel like I just didn't know what my next move was. And I felt like I had so much life left to live, but I didn't know what that looked like. I had obviously school emerging, and I was thinking they're going to go off to school. And then what on earth do I do? Like, literally, I'm going to gain this time, but I don't have a clue where to start in putting it to use or like,
Mhm.
and I just found myself asking that, is this it for me? Am I hate saying it like this, but it comes up just a stay-at-home mum.
Now we all know there's not just a just
Yeah.
to be a stay-at-home mum because that's a blooming full-time job and some, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, and that feeling of, yes, I'm a stay-at-home mum, and there is a lot to that. However, I am also a person.
Yeah.
And I know I'm meant for more, but I've got a clue what that looks like. So just staying where you're at for a moment back then,
Yeah.
when these ideas first came through, sorry, these thoughts first came through of, is this it for me? How did that make you feel at the time?
Just depleted, I think. Like I felt very lacking in energy. Like I just felt zapped because I think it was that feel I just didn't know where to start. I had a lot of feelings inside, but I was almost pushing them down because I was like, I should, that word, I should just be happy
Mm,
with what I've got right now. Like, push it down, push it away. But it kept coming up, and the
mm,
frustration and the feelings of just, I want to do something, I just don't know what it is. Like all of that, it was a lot. And I think it was just simmering. And I'm not saying around that period of time that I was massively unhappy, but there was just this feeling in the pit of my stomach where I was like, I know I'm meant for more. I know I've got a lot more inside of me, but how on earth do I start?
yeah.
A, discovering what on earth that was, because I didn't have a clue back then. And B, how do I do it?
Good questions. Good questions. Do you mind me asking if you can remember how sat in those feelings of like, is this it? I know I'm meant for more, but hold on a minute. I should just be happy, play it down, push it down, be, stay
Mhm.
here. How did that feeling and that energy and those thoughts, how did that manifest? Can you remember like how that kind of, what did that create for you in your life?
I think I started to get outwardly frustrated, and that was when it really started to like go, right, you need to sort this out, Charlotte. Like, I was saying and thinking one thing and I was doing something very different. So I'd say to Dale of like, I need some time. I need some time for me. Like, I really just please take the girls out of the house and give me some time. He'd do it. I gained some time. And what did I do? Nothing with it because I didn't know where to start. I would burn myself out doing blooming housework that could have waited. Like, but it was out of fear because well, fear and just the unknown. Like, what do you do? Like, I didn't know back then to grab a notepad and pen and just ask myself. Like, that would have been a lot simpler. What do you want to do with this time,
Yeah,
Charlotte?
yeah. But
But
we
back
don't
then,
know what we don't know, do we?
no. And I was in just this phase of just really not knowing. I was so disconnected with myself. And, I'd done a wonderful thing. I'd put my life on hold for the girls. And that was great. I would never change that. But equally, God, I could have done with some self-compassion, some self-love, and some self-care around about that time. Back then, I thought self-care was just dump yourself in the bath for an hour and you'll be okay. Like, it's so much more than that. It's discovering yourself again. It's asking yourself questions. It's just going on a journey to see who you truly are and what you truly want. But that phase, and Dale would get back and I'd be still angry at him because I'd be like,
And
I've
still
wasted this time.
frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't moving through it. I just wasn't able to just go, ooh, come on.
Mm. I want to pick on something really interesting you've just said that. It's a bit of a aha moment for me.
Mm.
When you sat in this frustration, how did you word it? Like you're thinking and saying one thing,
Hmm.
but you're doing another. And that's like completely contradicting like the inner voice and all the things that you want to be doing,
Yeah.
even though you didn't know specifically what they were, but you just know it was
Yeah.
different from what you were then physically going and doing. Like that the contradiction there is no wonder that creates the frustration because you're thinking one thing but you're doing another. The thing I
Yeah.
can really quickly relate it to is like in terms of like when I'm if I get frustrated myself in terms of my health and fitness, like in my mind, I want to nourish my body, I want to eat well, make good
Mm.
choices. And then I go have a blooming, I don't know, McDonald's,
Yeah.
And then what I'm doing is just being really frustrated and angry at myself. Um, so I just wanted to pick up on that because I think if anyone's sat feeling frustrated,
Yeah.
just maybe, think about what's going on internally and then what you're kind of carrying out in terms of actions and are they aligned
Yeah.
or are they not? So I just wanted to kind of reflect on that because that was just the way you said that I was like, that just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like no wonder we're frustrated.
Yeah.
Um, but what I'd love to come just circle back to for a moment is so you were just in inverted commas a stay-at-home mum. You got to a point where there was just something you were like, this is no, there's
Yeah.
just more here. I'm meant for more, but there were all these shoulds of oh, well, you should just be happy. So okay, so you articulate this. So you ask your husband, "Can you just take the girls out for me?" And create yourself some time and some space to right. Okay,
Hmm.
let's. House is empty.
Yeah.
Let's knuckle down. Let's do the more. And then we're just like that, tapping our fingers, tapping our head. Like what? Okay, I'll just unload the dishwasher instead, or I'll put some washing
Yeah.
away, or I'll go and have a tidy up because I don't know what it is. And then husband comes home. Oh, how have you got on? I'm really angry at
Yeah.
you. And I'm really
Because
frustrated because I've done nothing because I don't know what to do.
yeah. And that was then the all of that housework because it felt like it was on me. Of course, I'm going to be frustrated at them because I'm like, why does this always land on me? But the reality in actually, I wanted time for myself. Was I making it for myself? No. Like, so you're like, I've got a question.
I'm itching. what I'm seeing and hearing is you created the time for yourself by articulating it and asking for it, and then you made a choice not to use it.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah, but
Call
that's
you
the
out on that
truth.
one. And then we think about
Yeah.
personal responsibility here, and our choices carve, create our life.
Yeah.
The choice was to go and put the washing away or whatever it was you did with your time that wasn't what you really wanted to do, but you chose that.
Yeah.
But then you projected that frustration externally and blamed others. So looking back, would you say there was at that time, right at the very start, were you taking personal responsibility?
Absolutely not. And why wasn't I? Because literally I was scared, I think. It was new. Like
Yeah.
the housework was a smokescreen for actually doing the things I knew I needed to do.
Mm.
I got so used to doing the housework and that was my routine. And I think, I don't know, I think now, like how I tackle housework, because obviously it needs doing, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
the reality is, yes, it it can land on us, but if we're at home, comes But what I tend to do now is I put my me time first, and I will always get the housework done. Like, or a habit stack, and I'll listen to that podcast and that that's something for me whilst I'm doing it, and really give myself the credit for that. Like that making time and and this is the whole putting you first for a little bit, isn't it? Because
Mm.
I hadn't for such a long time, that then when I got that opportunity to put me first, of course it felt uncomfortable. Like
Mm.
anything felt like everything felt more important.
Yeah.
The housework felt more important until I was ready to go. Do you know what? I am important.
Mm.
What I want in life is important. Like,
What I'd love to,
it's
sorry.
all right. I love it. I'm like,
Good
if you're
dog with a
watching on
bone. Come
YouTube,
on.
you see Cat
I
going,
just sat please waiting. Um, just a couple of things. So I wonder, the choice you made to do the housework instead, was it, yeah, absolutely fear of it's stepping into uncertainty, isn't it?
mm,
And that's what we can be fearful of. Like, we don't know what that looks like.
no.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what more is. So there's the
Yeah.
fear of that uncertainty. I also wonder, and I've no idea, I'm genuinely asking this for the first time. Did you have the awareness of this personal responsibility?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I was so just in life on autopilot. And I think that's the biggest thing with awareness, when you start to gain this little bit of awareness of going, do you know what? God, I've got a choice there. Or why don't I try doing this differently? Like, oh wow. Like, okay,
Mm.
like when you start to build on that awareness, oh
And personal responsibility is huge, isn't it? So anyone that's listening
yeah.
that is right at the start of their journey, it's not about taking on all the blame, taking on all
No.
everyone else's blame. Personal responsibility is about really freeing yourself and knowing that you have a choice
Yeah.
with your thoughts, your feelings, and actions, and owning that and claiming that.
Mm,
And it's actually giving up the blaming and the complaining and putting it onto others and going, okay, well, I made that decision, I made that choice at that moment, and therefore I'm going to take personal responsibility
yeah.
for it. So just circling back to the example of the personal responsibility in that situation when Dale left with the girls, you made that choice.
Hmm.
And obviously, if you were taking personal responsibility for it, if you were aware of what that was at the
Yeah.
time, you could be like, oh, well, I've chosen to do the housework when he got back. And yeah, I'm cool with that because that was my choice and that's me taking responsibility.
Yeah.
But until we're aware of that, what we do then is project, and he comes back and you make it all about, well, someone's got to do it, haven't they? And well, actually,
Yeah.
yes, it has got to be done, but it didn't have to be done right then.
No.
It could have waited, but you chose not to.
And in voicing that, if I could have possibly voiced that better as well, and like I've found this with Dale, and I'm very lucky that, if I ask him to do something, I mean, just take a little longer than I would hope, but we're a team, and he does. So if I could avoid voice that, but I think sometimes we take on a lot, don't we, ourselves? And it takes a village.
To raise a family, child,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, it takes a lot of people.
And I
Not
think
a
in terms
one.
of life, like even if you've not got children yet, we don't very easily ask for help. Like we sit in
No.
this phase of just trying to do it all, trying to
Mm,
be at our best 100%. And do you know what? Like scrap that.
yeah.
Like we are meant to be together. We are meant to
Yeah.
help each other out. Like how good does it feel when you help someone out?
It feels amazing, doesn't it?
So actually, when you ask for help and you give someone that opportunity to help you, they are equally feeling good. Yet we
Yeah.
sit in this space of just trying to do it all and getting really exhausted and depleted. So I think when I actually look back at that as well, I think, do you know what? Like, yeah, let's ask for a bit of help. Like,
Yeah.
let's not try and do it all. The washing doesn't have to all be on me. Like, it doesn't.
No. No.
But it is working on that communication to get to that point. And there's quite a lot of topics in here, isn't it? I'm
There
like,
is,
oh,
there is.
I could go more
Like,
into
all right,
this and go.
gonna get us back on course, back to wanting more, and asking yourself that question: is this it for me? So
Yeah.
we know where we're at. So we looked at, why didn't you explore what felt was for you? A, didn't have the awareness of like how to do it. B, the fear of going
Yeah.
into the uncertainty and the unknown. And C, not taking the personal responsibility to actually to do that. So you did at some point
Mm-hmm.
break that cycle, didn't you? So what I would love to know is like, how?
Oh,
How? So if someone sat there thinking, yes, I can hear you guys. Like, yes, I'm asking myself, is this
yeah.
it for me? And I want more, but I don't know what it is. I don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so guilty. I should just be happy. Like, how can they start to explore that?
For me personally, I felt like I got to breaking point where I thought, you know what, I could hear myself getting angry at everybody else. Like, and I'm talking everybody else, I'm talking Dale.
Yeah.
He took the brunt of it. I could hear myself and I was just like, Charlotte, come on. And then I literally, and this is how it happened. I woke up one day and I decided enough was enough. And I identified a step that I could take. And for me, I loved Instagram. And I decided, you know what, I can't be the only one thinking like this. And I decided to set up a family page and just start talking. And it was terrifying. I knew when I woke up that day that I needed to take action that day. And I don't know what took over in me to do this. Like I do think when you make a decision and you decide enough, even just that enough is enough, you
Yeah.
can make that today. You can make that decision today, but follow through. What's the action step you can take today? What's the next, like take it, then what's the next one? And
Yeah.
keep building yourself up through that. But for me, I decided, right, I'm setting up an Instagram. I chose my name, bagged it, got it on there, wrote a bio, grabbed Dale, the girls, and our two dogs, headed into the garden, took a picture. And there is a moment in that we took this picture, right? I set up a self timer and I was like, right, we all need to just get together. Like this page, I just wanted to be real. I
Yeah.
think my voice was just dying to come out in some way. Like I wanted to speak. I wanted to write. I wanted to just do something. And
Mm.
I thought I just can't be the only one here. So if I could bring people together in this way, I'm going to give it a go. So we took this picture and I went straight over to look at it to see if it was Instagram worthy. And Dale said to me something that has never left me. And he was like, if you want to be real, you've got it right there. That's the
Brilliant.
picture. And literally, that has never left me. And I thought, touche. Like,
Yeah.
I think he didn't want another picture, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
However, there was a lesson in that. And I really
Yeah.
took that. And I posted that picture. I started talking. I started writing. Well, I didn't start talking. Sorry. I started writing first. Like that was a
Mm.
talking on Instagram was a whole, a bit further down the line. But just that was terrifying. Putting that first picture out there with my words. When I look back now, what I was doing was journaling out loud.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I love that.
absolutely was. Like I was sharing my thoughts and feelings from the day. I was hoping that people would relate and it would ease their journey in some way, and they could go, do you know what, I'm not the only person feeling this way. I am a positive person, so I'd always like to kind of end with a positive, because and I think in that I really taught myself around some hard times, like I think it
Mm.
was very active journaling in reflection. Like, I didn't know I
Yeah.
was journaling at the
Yeah.
time, but I'd always end with that more positive outcome. And I'd be like, yeah, yeah, I've hit post. And
Brilliant.
my thing was, if one person liked it, hopefully one person got something from it. And that was my benchmark. And that was it. I did something different. I did the next easiest step for me, but also the next scariest step for me. I'm not saying this step is going to be easy. And I'm not saying this is always the right step either. My Instagram journey has evolved massively over time, but you've just got to do that one thing differently and be so proud of yourself as ever that you did
Absolutely.
it.
That's it. So you did something. I think that's the key thing here, isn't it?
Yeah.
You did something, you got curious, you explored, you got creative, and it turns out it was the Instagram page. But you did something different. You were prepared to be vulnerable, you were
Mm-hmm.
prepared to go out of your comfort zone, to feel the fear, to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think this is it with wanting more. Like, first of all, guys, it's okay. I do
Yeah.
wish somebody had knocked at my door on all those days where I was going, I just want more, but I just shouldn't. And gone,
Yeah.
Kat, just remind you, it is okay. You
Yeah.
can have more, and it's okay to want more. So
Yeah.
please hear us when we say it. It is okay to want more.
Yeah.
And you can be happy and you can be grateful
Mm-hmm.
for what you have and still want more. And I think with wanting more it naturally comes hand in hand. It is growth. It's
Yeah.
progression. It's moving forward. It's growth, isn't it? And we know
Definitely.
that to get to the growth, we've got to navigate through that comfort zone. We've got to
Yeah.
step out of it into the fear, do the
Mm-hmm.
things that make us feel uncomfortable until they feel comfortable again. And then we grow and then we
Mm.
keep pushing through that, don't we?
100%, because we've just mentioned this before logging in, didn't we, actually, that there's still more that I want now. And it's not like that. I think as humans, like, we're meant to grow, we're meant to, that's part of our nature. So when we're feeling stuck, it could be that we've stopped growing and we've stopped doing things differently, and we've just got so stuck in a routine and life and all these things that we've got to realize that actually, yeah, growth is
Yeah.
what we need to survive. We need to keep growing, we need to keep doing things, and we need to keep being there for ourselves in that way and pushing ourselves in that way.
Mm.
And for me, like you say, I wish I could go back and just say, just start, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Today is available to you right now. Just start. But then equally, I do believe in divine timing. I do believe I needed that level of frustration to push me to go, right, I'm ready.
Mm.
And whether you're listening to this and you're ready or you're not ready,
You're still ready.
yeah,
Now is the time.
literally now is all we've got. So
Yeah.
take that one step. And I do believe we all know what that scary step is.
Mm.
If we sit just with
Mm.
ourselves for a little bit of time, we all know what that next scary step
Mm.
is. And it is scary, but we've got to do it terrified.
Absolutely. And I reflect back to when I was in very similar feelings of, oh my gosh, I was just caught up in frustration. And it wasn't that long ago. And just
Yeah.
reflecting on the whole growth journey, it was because I completely plateaued. Like, I'd
Mm,
grown my restaurant, my business,
yeah.
to a point where I had made myself redundant because I'd put all my systems and operations and staff in place. It no longer needed me. Like, I could
Mm,
work on the business probably 3-4 hours a week maximum. And that was
yeah.
all that was required of me, which is incredible. And I'm
Yeah.
receiving the financial benefits from it. Amazing. My two girls are off at school. Like, I'm at the top of the chain because I'm the business owner. No one's pushing me.
Yeah.
So I'm sat at home thinking, like, who's challenging me? Where am I growing? Nobody, nothing. What the hell am I doing? And that's
Yeah.
when I sat there and thought, well, is this it? Like,
Mm,
there's only so much I can keep the house tidy and pop out for a coffee and you know, like I
Yeah.
got I got so bored and felt so unfulfilled. But oh my gosh, was I wrapped up in Cat, just be happy.
Mm.
Everyone would love to be in your position. Oh my God, you haven't got to go to work and you can just do what you want. And I'm like, yeah, guys, but it sucks. Like, this sounds crazy, doesn't it?
But
But I
it's
was so frustrated because I wasn't growing and I wasn't progressing.
mm,
And I knew deep down I was meant for more, but it was so hard to be okay with that at that time.
yeah.
So I too, but I hadn't got a clue, Charlotte. I hadn't got a
No.
clue. I just knew that I wanted, I did have, well, actually, I did have an idea. I knew I wanted to get out what we do now,
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
into the world. I wanted to go out to my coaching roots, and I just
Mm,
wanted to share that, whatever you believe in is possible for you, and there is so much
yeah.
more to have. So that's why I just like sat in this confusion of, well, I'm not doing it. Like, how am I supposed to voice that? So I did.
Yeah.
I too did something different, and I put myself in a space with other like-minded women. I went and joined
Mm,
this online membership for female entrepreneurs because I was a woman in business and I knew I wanted to start up another business to get the message out into the world
mm,
bigger in different ways. But I hadn't got a clue what that looked like.
yeah.
And that's where I met you.
Yeah. There we
And
were.
there you go.
Hello.
I had no idea. But I had to do something. I had to
Mm.
do something.
And I think it's normalizing that it's scary. Like, and I think for
Yeah.
me, like, I used to think if it's not if it's scary, it's not right. But I just felt like I was at the point of life where that word again, I should just be able to do it.
Yeah,
But
but no,
reality,
they're comfort zones, though, aren't they? The
yeah, and I
clue's in the name.
exactly. But that really made me feel inferior, I think I'd say at that time, because I hadn't found my career before even having the girls. Like I'd
Yeah,
kind of fallen into all kinds of different things before having the girls. I was working for my dad and selling cheese, like literally.
love it.
And I just felt like I should have it all figured
Mm,
out. I should
mm,
know where I'm going. I should be able to do this now. And if because I can't, because it feels scary and it feels hard, like that's not right. Like, but oh my goodness, like the more we do the scary stuff, the better. And it's this
yeah,
just going on this path of the unknown can be exciting.
yeah.
I
And
I,
that's
I
a shift,
truly,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
I truly, truly believe, yes, the inner work, healing, all of this kind of, it can be heavy at times. But do I think we can lighten the load and have fun and explore and discover and tune into who we always have been and just release it all? Like, absolutely.
and give ourselves a break on the way as well.
Yeah.
Go back to that little girl that's still within us, the
Yeah.
one that didn't know that she wasn't enough. We are enough, but the feeling of not being
Yeah.
enough, the one that didn't know comparison,
Hmm.
and treat her like as you would have treated her, with the love, the compassion, the understand, with the encouragement.
Yeah.
And we just,
I, I literally have her here.
oh, Charlotte showed me a photo of her little self.
I have it framed now on my desk, and she
Perfect.
is my reason to do the scary stuff. Because that's where life is. And I'm really
Mm.
discovering that. Like,
Mm. And
life is in the scary
you're
things.
right though, because I get what you're saying about how it can feel when it feels scary. Is it a sign to say, oh, it's the wrong thing? And I get that because because then you start to think, oh well, it's because I don't have the confidence, and like you say, I should have
Yeah.
the confidence at my age. I should be able to do that. But no, 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 no.
Hmm.
We build confidence in the things that we know how to do. The confidence
Yeah.
competence loop, isn't it? And it's like if we've never done it before, of course we're not going to have the confidence.
And I've reflected on this the other day because I was like, God, yeah, I'd not used a laptop for 5 years. And I remember saying you one of the beginning parts of my journey was sitting with my husband's laptop. I opened an Excel document and I just started writing out my life story. This is a bit
Mm,
further down the path when I'd done Instagram for a little while and then I wanted to move again and I got those frustrated feelings again. And I just wrote out my life story. And when I think about that, like to go from not having used a computer for 5 years and not having a clue how it works, looking at an
mm.
Excel document and feeling like an alien, to then launching and running an online business.
With a lot of tech, I must add.
A lot of like that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that, and that's where I remember, I think one of my first Instagram posts on the Authentic Girls Club platform, like Instagram, was if I can do this, you can do anything.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe, like back then, oh my goodness, I was telling myself I couldn't do everything. It's like, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, if you're sat in that, like, oh my gosh, you can. And because if I can go from that to this, like, you can go from where you are to where you want to go. And just as I'm sat here now, and I can go from where I am now to where I want to go on the next part of the journey, the next chapter, we can all do these things. We've just got to step out of our own way
Own
for long
way.
enough
And
to
believe that
do.
we can, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, so yeah, like I wish I knew that earlier. Is it for me? Absolutely not.
No, there's more. There's so
There's
much
so much
more.
more.
And you've got to lift that lid and you've got to just get excited about what's
Mm,
possible for you. Just
yeah.
reorientate it. Yes, it's going to be scary, but
Hmm.
let's enjoy the ride. Strap in. It's a
Yeah,
roller coaster. I don't know
it
if you
is. Yeah.
like them or not, but there's the highs and the lows, but it's all worth it. And yes, please just know that it's absolutely okay to want more,
It
because the
is.
more you become of you and the more you put of you out into the world, the more the world benefits. It really, really
100%.
does. It's for the greater good. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. So, a starting point then for our
Hmm.
listeners,
Yeah.
we're going to drop a couple of journal prompts,
We
I
are.
believe, in the show notes.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
what we thought we would do, guys, is pop a couple of journal prompts. So whether you know what more is right now, whether you have an inkling or whether you don't have a clue, we're just going to pop a couple of journal prompts in the show notes just to get you started. And we'd love for you to just give yourself any, whether it's an evening and half an hour or a morning and you set your alarm that little bit earlier and just get up with a notepad and pen. We're going to put one of our Spotify playlists on
yeah,
that in the show notes as well, and just give yourself a chance just to explore these couple of questions and just see where it takes you. There is no right or wrong with journaling, but the thing that I wish I'd done earlier was ask myself what on earth I wanted, or ask myself like even just, do I want more? If I'd have just asked that, I could have gone, yes.
yes.
Okay,
That's a
let's go
starting
discover
point,
it.
isn't
Yeah,
it? That is
it is.
absolutely a starting point.
It really is. So yeah, we're going to put all those details for you in the show notes. And there's also a link to our website where we have popped a new message for you. If you are sat relating to all that we are saying, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling frustrated, if anything that you've related to on here, there is a message for you on our homepage. So we'll link that in the show notes for you as well.
Brilliant.
And just know that there is so much more out there for you. Go discover it, go be it, go see it, all the things. And also we are here for you. And one of the biggest parts of my journey was being surrounded by incredible people like Kat,
Yay.
who are cheering me on behind the scenes, and just, I think, being in this space of talking about more, wanting more, going and getting more. When you surround yourself with people who are doing that, you're going to move quick. You're going to
Oh,
move
yeah,
really quick. So you don't
absolutely.
have to do this alone. We are here for you. Reach out to us on DMs. Let us know how you found this episode, and we will look forward to chatting to you very soon.
Absolutely. Speak soon, guys. Take care.
Bye.